What it do, guys? It's your boy, the boy, the Juice. My name is Troy Bradshaw. As we all know, I go by the Juice. Listen, I decided to go live tonight. I know it's pretty late, but I decided to jump on here tonight to take some calls, watch a couple videos with you guys that I wanted to share with you guys while we were out at Nancy's house, but unfortunately I couldn't do that due to the, it's just hard doing it on the phone. So I figured I'd come home and we'd watch a couple videos. One in particular I wanted to just share with you guys real quick with Brian Ensign and Marine. They talk about the house being sold, whether or not law enforcement tells somebody not to sell the house. Perhaps maybe something happens, who knows. But mainly I wanted to share it because they kind of talk about the sides that, they kind of talk about the neighbors. And I think it's kind of good to hear from somebody on a bigger platform and who has talked to a lot more neighbors than all of us. And that's Brian Ensign. I mean, he's interacted with a lot of the neighbors. He's been in the neighborhood just as much as we have. And he shared with Marine, he had it as a host just earlier today. And I was kind of shocked to see, them kind of sticking up for us in a way, and I think they understand both sides. And also I wanted to play another little documentary that Brian Ensign had made, which I thought it was a pretty interesting one. I didn't know that they got together at the church and did something special for Nancy. I think I heard about that, but it just totally went over my head. So I was going to share that with you guys tonight as well. But mainly I got on because I wanted to talk a little bit about the timeline, but really to show you guys the video with the lady by the name of Juanita. I think it's a dame. I thought it was a dame, but I think it's a dame. I think it took her a while to put together these dispatch calls that happened on February 1st around the time that Nancy went missing. And I wanted to share it because I don't think a lot of people have seen this. It doesn't look like it's got a ton of views. So if we could put it out there more so people could hear it, why not? But shouts to her. It doesn't seem like she streams all that much. But I think the interview room was somebody who mentioned it today as well. So we'll check that out as well. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on surrounding the Nancy Guthrie case. A lot of people still really, they're really trying to keep this case out there. People really care. People taking weeks out of their time just to put together something that could help us, our thoughts, and probably even the case. Who knows? Big welcomes those of you guys tuning in. Good to see you guys here in the chat. I know it's super, super late. Maybe for some of you guys are not in the U.S., so some of you guys it's probably early morning or early evening. I'm not sure. Lex, big welcomes. Good to see you, Lex. Nina, looks like Chicky here in the chat. Coffee lover, good to see you. Tanya, Cowgirl. Shout out to all the members. It seems like we got several members tuning in. Good to see y'all. White Heaven, or I think it's Haven. Much love. Good to see y'all in the chat, man. Lex says, that's wild. I just started watching that video of Brian and Marine. Yeah, that yeah. I guess great minds think alike, right? I watched it earlier a couple times. Didn't watch the whole thing. Excuse me, but I skipped through a couple parts. And I thought it was a great conversation between the two and a lot of stuff that we really needed to hear. But I'm just going to play a quick little piece of the ending. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's a 30-minute video, and I don't think I'll be on that thing long. And then I got to save time for some other videos, obviously, too. So let's play that real quick, though. I want to hear this clip at the end here.
As we stand today.
Is there any law enforcement reason for them not to sell it? I mean, do you think police would be advising them would they still possibly need it for anything?
Well, they turned it back over to the family, and once you do that, all bets are off.
Yeah.
So they must not think there's anything else there, except for the mat.
The mat, yeah. That
That's
mat
crazy.
that you would have taken right away.
That's crazy.
the infamous mat.
Yeah, so Maureen, she's been really big on the mat. You know, I think that's something that really bothered her, and it's bothered a lot of the community too, as far as the mat. No one's took that mat. I mean, well, they never took the mat, and it's still there. So yeah, Maureen, I think she was one of the first people to mention the thing about the mat being not taken. It wasn't taken. It was still there.
Front.
If I lived close enough, I might even take it now. No, I wouldn't. I would not trespass.
Yeah, no, I know you wouldn't. Yeah, and they actually put, I saw, there's a lot of like streamers and bloggers and stuff that go out there all the time. They put now there's like chains across the driveway. They put more no trespassing signs. So it's kind of, I don't know, turned into, I mean, I kind of get it. Like the neighbors that I talk to don't really mind it. They just care about Nancy. Like honestly, the people I talk to, they're like, we just want Nancy to come back.
Hey,
Like,
Brian and Incident, we spoke. He's a really nice guy. I spoke to him a couple times. He's really nice. I like the guy. He's great. How do I spot out there? This is the most open that I've seen them. Like this is the most open like I've ever seen Brian Ensign and Maureen. It seems like they're like actually sitting down and like friends having a conversation. I'm surprised that they've opened up this much. Because usually they're like strictly business and they don't really say too much, especially the negative stuff. So we'll hear a little bit of that right now too.
the financing, we don't mind if people are around. But I can also see how other neighbors are probably like, God, this like there's all these strangers in our neighborhood, and I can see both sides.
Yeah, the change. I mean, the changes. Imagine the changes in that neighborhood went from nobody being around after dark until all this craziness.
Yeah.
But you only talk to the nice people. That's why, Brian.
No, I talk to some of the not nice ones. I just don't. I don't talk about it as much. No, there were a few out there that were not nice, and this
Yeah,
one
that's true.
person had a golden retriever and wouldn't even let me pet their dog when they walked by. So there were some.
Brian taking shots.
I mean, again, I get it though. It's their neighborhood. Like I can see both sides of it. Really appreciate Maureen for taking the time.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. There was one particular part that I wanted to share, but he said he could understand both sides. Like he understands both sides of it, and the same for me. I always say I'm open to the neighbors coming and talking to me. They don't really have to come and give me like a bad look. They could always come and talk, but they're on our side. They understand why we're there. And he said it. He said he didn't, and he got my name. He didn't just speak to me and not know who I was. But I introduced myself as Troy, not Juice. So maybe he doesn't know that I have he doesn't know the name of the channel. But I mean, whoever that was, I'm sure they know who he's talking about when he mentioned a golden retriever, because there's not really that many neighbors in the neighborhood with golden retrievers. But yeah, it seems like no matter who you are, even if you're Brian Enton, they don't care. They just want people to leave. Some people just don't want the neighbors there at all. So I thought that was interesting. I had no idea that they had visited it's a church just down the street from Nancy's house, which was crazy. Because I had no idea. Had I known about this, I think we would have all been there. At least Criminal Network and I. I don't know who was in town during this time. I don't know when this day was. But Brian had visited a church just down the way.
Savannah's message and the safe return of her mother on the minds of everyone at a vigil at a church nearby.
I have a mother. I live 1 mile from Nancy, and I'm touched.
I'm staying just close by, helping my mom with some health issues. I just really appreciate the community, and I guess I wanted to show my support.
I know Savannah personally. I worked with her. We're all crushed. We're so worried for the whole family.
Everybody is very loyal to Savannah because she's from Tucson.
Yeah.
And if anybody's listened to her, she always is delighted to mention Tucson.
It's taking a toll on us. We wake up in the morning going, is there any news? And we're just praying to God that it's good news.
Keep burning, baby.
Coming up, a bluff or a kidnapping for ransom.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you.
The clues left in the note, with all eyes on the second and final deadline, as investigators race to figure out Why Nancy?
Hey, much love, guys. I appreciate the jewels. Shannon, several people with the jewels here. Much love, guys. I appreciate that a lot. I had no idea they had a vigil, guys. Do you guys know when the vigil was? When was this vigil? Because I think I might have heard about it. I don't want to say I did because I don't remember 100%. But there was a vigil that they had, and I don't know when this was. I mean, I think it was probably was it just a couple months ago? Like, it wasn't just a while back. I don't know. Not too sure. But that was awesome. That was awesome. I didn't know they put something together for Nancy. That's insane. Shouts Shannon. Shouts everybody for all the jewels, man. You guys got the jewels rolling in, man.
To have a targeted victim like this, a gal in her 80s that's taken out of her house at night, for what reason?
Take that down.
A chilling image of the suspect emerges.
There's just a lot of things that seem off with it.
If you were the guy, if you were that monster, you should be worried.
As searches and operations unfold across the state.
We're in our car, and there is an active SWAT situation happening right now.
Bombshell revelations from a law enforcement insider.
We're hiding your identity right now because you could get in a lot of trouble for speaking out this way.
And for the first time, the nation's top criminal profilers combine their expert minds to take on the mystery.
Something went terribly wrong. I think it was another motive that they went in for.
So I wanted to play a little bit of this documentary. We're not going to watch this whole thing, but it's like a documentary Brian Ensign put together.
Savannah yesterday and told her that the federal government is here to help, and our hearts and our prayers are with Savannah and her entire family as they search for her dear mother.
As the clock ticks towards the first deadline, the FBI is now running point on the investigation into the ransom letter and reveals why it's been taken so seriously.
Yeah, the ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch and one talked about a floodlight.
Key details about the location of Nancy Guthrie's Apple Watch, reportedly in an unusual place, and the destruction of a floodlight that many believe only the kidnapper would know.
There has been no proof of life, and there was no other demands within that letter, so they're still waiting for communication.
The Guthrie family makes another plea for the person sending the ransom note to make contact.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to...
I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was one of the only times that Cameron spoke out, literally, and the last time he did.
Communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom.
When the ransom notes started coming in, what did you make of those?
I would be very suspicious of any Bitcoin demand that doesn't have anything that documents that Nancy survived the abduction.
All right, so we are following that breaking news out of Tucson, Arizona, as the Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI announcing a new note in the Nancy Guthrie case.
6 days since Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home in the middle of the night, local TV station KOLD announces it has received a second letter that appears to be from the same sender, but with a different message.
Is there any information
February 6th, second
in this
ransom
latest
letter.
note about Nancy's condition?
I wouldn't call this a ransom note. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, it's another ransom note. The first one I would categorize as a ransom note. This second one, not so much.
We received your message, and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Over the weekend, there is non-stop action from law enforcement. They towed Nancy's car.
So I don't know if you guys remember, but February 2nd, the first alleged ransom note was sent to local authorities. So remember at that time they had described, they were only giving us, well, they didn't really give us anything based on what was actually in the ransom note. They described an Apple Watch, and then they described a damaged floodlight at Guthrie's house. And remember, Savannah said the first one and the second one, she thought that was real. February 3rd, the day after that, the ransom note, they shared that the ransom note was demanding $1 million in Bitcoin. That was reported by TMZ, and then other local Tucson news stations. February 6th, a local message from the alleged abductor was sent to Cold News, which provided further details, supposedly verifying the senders. I think that was the one that was. I think that one was fake. I think that was Kalela. I think the ones that came after the first two ended up being the ones that was sent from Kalela. If Kalela's a part of this, I mean, I'm really hoping that he may talk. But looking at Kalela, he looks like he's not going to be the type of guy to talk. Remember, they had the deadline with the ransom as well. February 9th, they reported an additional note that was raised the ransom to $6 million. And I think I want to say that was Kalela too. I don't know. It's super confusing. But the first two were real. I don't know about the deadline that came after. I don't know if that applied to the first two. I don't know what the ransom note. I really don't. I'm not a firm believer with the ransom notes. I try not to even think about them because it just starts making me overthink. And I think it's the same thing that turned out to be that, the same way it turned out for Kalela. I think the same thing applied to the first two, because I just think the person was obviously a little bit smarter. I would honestly love to know who the lady thinks the person is that was interviewed by Brian Inton. It was sworn, from what I heard, it was sworn to the FBI by her that she would not give that information out. So I think she knows who wrote that letter to her. And she swore not to tell anybody. So that's almost like a clue to me. And I'm not going to say any names, but I know someone who asked her if she was able to share who it was. And she was also asked whether or not it was Richard Nolette. And she said no. So she can say yes or no, I guess, but still that would probably still be her kind of breaking the rules. But I think she knows who it is, because I think whoever sent the letters to her probably identified themselves. And even if they didn't, it's kind of obvious, I think, it's really, I don't think it's difficult, but it's not. But I don't know if you guys remember the neighbor I'm talking about. I can't remember her name, but I think one of the letters that she got, because I think she got two, maybe even more than two. But one of the letters that she received was about 30 pages long. And I think Criminal Network had told me that. But I had no idea. That was actually good to know. I didn't know that you swear not to say anything. And I think it would probably be criminal if you do, because then you could be, interfering with an ongoing investigation. But that's a clue to me, because that tells me, what would be the reason of her not being able to tell everybody, who wrote that letter, if it does actually state who wrote it, even though that could be somebody also making it seem like there's somebody else, but it's really not that person. So you never know. But it's almost like a clue to me, because it's telling to me. It tells me that there's a possibility that they may just have their person, and they just don't want to put it out there. They're keeping everything real nice and under the table, so that way, it doesn't affect the case, I guess. But anywho, I will watch a little bit more of this, but I want to dive into this video with Juanita, because I think she did awesome putting this video together, as far as the dispatch calls. And I really think those are the dispatch calls that took place that night in regard to Nancy.
And appeared to take pictures inside Annie Guthrie's home.
Everything is like got thorns too, huh?
Everything's got thorns.
Search teams tackle the desert terrain in the Catalina foothills, a unique area full of windy roads and hills, vegetation and brush.
I would look at the vegetation, I would look at the rocks. You know, if rocks are disturbed, you know, something like that, you'd know somebody may have walked through there. So there's different areas. You look at different footprints. You look at this. You know, if somebody brushes up against it, it might tear some of the fabric.
At night,
smart man.
The city goes dark, making it nearly impossible to see.
So let's have Chris, our photographer, turn off the light for a minute. I just want to show how dark it is here.
You just step into the brush a little bit as a pedestrian, you're going to disappear.
Yep.
Like I could just boom and you're good. What was that?
Show us, can we go in just a little bit? I just want to show, Chris, if you just kind of go in just a little.
Yeah. You just kind of walk in, find a shadow, depending on how you're dressed.
You guys know how it is out there. We already showed you. I've showed you guys several times how pitch black it is out there. A lot of these lights I'm seeing on, because this was in the beginning of time, they're not on now. There's lights don't even almost exist right now. And all the media was there, so there's a bunch of lights. But now there's none.
You know, you're just kind of gone.
Shannon, thanks to Shannon, she has gifted a membership, and it looks like that went straight to Adrian. Much love. Carrie is now a member. Man, much love, guys. I appreciate you guys becoming members here. I expected a slow night, you know, not too much craziness going on. Chat's a lot calmer here around this late night time that I decided to go live. I'm going to open up the phone lines a bit too, just so we can kind of take some calls here. If anybody wants to reach out and get on the phone and have a conversation about the case, I'll leave the lines open as well. But anyway.
To you when you were in the neighborhood.
Guys. If a car is coming down the hill, you're going to see the headlight beams illuminate the area in front of the car before it makes the turn. You can duck into the cactus before that car rounds and illuminates you.
Good point. Very good point. And the perp could have been on foot, saw a car and duck off in a tree. You would never see a person. I mean, you guys have seen it. We've almost got hit several times. I mean, you it's pitch black. It is completely dark in that neighborhood, and it is so easy to hide. It's almost, you don't even have to try. That's how easy it is.
Time is ticking on a ransom deadline this afternoon for Nancy Guthrie.
With just hours until the second deadline, the media frenzy is intense.
Hi there, everybody.
Insane.
I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. We believe our mom is...
Hey, Ron and Rides, much love. He says, how do you find Amazon wish list? It's in the description. It should be right there in the description. You should be able to click on the link. Much love to for all the jewels. Just wanted to say that before I continue this video here. We're about to get into this other one here, but I thought it was a really great video that Brian Ensign had put together. I saw a comment that I wanted to read and I missed it. How you doing, Strawberry, man? Good to see you. Welcome back, Army, by the way. I saw a comment I wanted to read, and I guess it just doesn't exist anymore because I don't see it. Yeah. I think I missed it. 101 SB, good to see you in the chat, by the way. Much love, guys. I love seeing all the familiar names back in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the chat, so maybe I'll find it. We'll just continue this.
So out there, we are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Coming up.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy that a person can disappear from a sleepy little neighborhood in the foothills of Tucson, Arizona.
Strange internet outages and reports that the kidnappers may have been in Nancy's neighborhood before.
I'm getting ready in the morning and I saw him out there.
And the moment this case reaches a whole new level.
I'm glad that people saw what came to our door.
New leads in the race to find the suspect.
We're in our car, and there is an active SWAT situation happening right now.
But are investigators looking for just one person instead of two?
He's a bumbling idiot because he's been set up by the puppet master.
Crazy. That lady that we just saw right now, she thinks that, I think she's the one who mentioned, no, it was the other lady next to her that says that she thinks that the perp could possibly be dead. I'm not a firm believer in that at all. I don't think the perp is dead at all. I think he's watching us every night.
Desperation, the exhausting search for Nancy Guthrie entering a new phase after a second ransom deadline passes. The search for the 84-year-old grandmother now entering its 10th day.
It's been 10 days of confusion in the Catalina foothills. Seemingly no leads, no answers as to who took 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie in the middle of the night. Until a huge break. The FBI released chilling photos and videos of a masked man at Nancy's front door. He's described as 5'9" or 5'10" with an average build. He's wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack, carrying a gun in a holster, and appears to try to cover or tear down the doorbell camera.
What did you think when you first saw those surveillance images?
Well, they're great photos, number one. I mean, they're fantastic because you've got a physical.
Wow, man, you guys are insane, guys. This thing hasn't stopped going off because you guys showed all this love here. It looks like we had several people become members thanks to you guys, man. You guys are one of a kind, man. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. This thing is just going off left and right, man. You guys are distracting me right now, man. Nah, you guys are good. I'm just joking. Shouts to the gifted memberships there. They're going crazy. It's going crazy. Much love to, I'm just going to say Jump AZ. I always say it. I think I try to say his name together, and that's probably why I get it wrong. Tracy is officially a member thanks to Jump AZ. Leslie, Marcus Allen, Strawberry, man. Welcome, man. He's officially a member thanks to Jump AZ. Dirty Diana is officially a member now as well. Much love, guys. I appreciate the love and support here from Jump AZ, man. Gosh, man, you guys are one of a kind, man. Jeez. Much love, man. Welcome to the family, though, guys. Welcome to the team. We still got to work a community name. It's probably just going to be family. I don't know. For some reason, that fits. I like saying it, too. But who knows? Judy, big welcomes. How you doing, by the way? Somebody said no audio. I mean, we're at home. The audio's way better at home. I don't know how this person doesn't have any audio. Let me make sure my mic isn't off. If not, now you're making me worried here. Nah, we're locked in. We're good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with her. Maybe she's having some trouble. Maybe you guys can tell her to reset or something. If she can't hear me, she won't hear me saying it. I have no idea. I hate when that happens.
That you can use to exclude possible suspects.
This bombshell stunned everyone. The reward skyrocketed to $100,000. Law enforcement, current and retired, raced to try to identify anything from the images, like Bob Krieger, former homicide detective and SWAT commander for Pima County.
The photos, what stands out is, the way he's holding the gun, and it appears like he's holding it in a support hand. The way the holster is on the outside of the pants, it looks like the gun is way too small for the holster.
So I wanted to point this out real quick because some of you guys, I've been getting a lot of emails about this, and a lot of people have been saying the purpose of the gun being in. A lady called the other day, and I think it might have been Lydia. I think her name is like L9 in the chat. I'm not too sure. L9 and a couple other numbers and letters. Pretty sure some of you guys are familiar with her. And I don't know for sure if it was her for sure. I think my girl had mentioned it. But she was saying that the crotch, the holster is meant to be covered, covering the crotch area, I guess is how I could put it in words. And some people really still believe that this is a girl. I don't know. I can't put it together. Criminal Network with a $10 super chat, man. Much love, Criminal Network. He says, thanks for all you do, my brother. Keep fighting the good fight. Hey, man, we're trying, man. We're trying, man. You and me both. And I'll be right there next to you, brother. I'll be right there next to you. No matter where we are, man. Much love, Criminal Network, man. I appreciate it a lot. I can't believe some people really think this is meant to cover, you know, the crotch area. I don't get it. I think it would be the other way around, because for a woman, you wouldn't see anything. So I mean, what would you be covering? You know, if it was actually a woman, but just like the little characteristics to me, it's hard to tell. I guess you could say because of all of the clothing, but even with the clothing on, like to me, I could still tell the build of this person is a man. And you can kind of tell just like looking at the hands. Someone pointed out the gloves, saying that person that it seems like they don't really want to touch anything because they just got a nail job done. I guess women don't like to, I guess, touch things in certain ways when they just got their nails done, which makes sense. But I don't think that. I'm not seeing a nail job, man, and we could kind of look at it in a minute here, but I don't see nails through those gloves at all. I'm not seeing it.
There's just a lot of things that seem.
This guy Bob's been great. I wish you'd have him back on for another interview. I don't really think I've seen this guy in a little minute.
Off with it.
I wouldn't be surprised if this guy had prior convictions for violent crime. I don't see somebody going to do something like this if they haven't done something like this in the past.
Thousands more leads were generated. The images quieting rumors and accusations against those closest to Nancy.
I'm glad that people saw what came to our door.
Authorities asked neighbors to check their camera footage in the month leading up to Nancy's disappearance. Neighbor Aldine Meister called them back right away.
So this
Aldine. So this is the lady that seen the suspicious person outside of the window. Remember that? She said she saw a guy with a hat. Suspicious person outside of the window. I don't know about you, Criminal Network, but I feel like this lady thinks it's. I think she thinks it's Tommaso. I don't know. Who else better, and I'm not trying to throw Tommaso under the bus, but who else other than Tommaso can you think of out of all the people that we know that could possibly know Nancy or have any type of relations to Nancy that could write grammar perfectly? I can't think of anybody else. I can't think of nobody else. And again, I'm not trying to throw Tommaso under the bus, but I don't see anybody else having very, very great grammar and knowing how to write this. And let's just say it's not even Tommaso involved or anything like, not involved, but let's just say it's not Tommaso at all. Like putting him there at the scene. Let's just say this was his part of it. And he didn't physically take part in the crime that took place as far as abducting Nancy. But let's just say that Tommaso wrote this letter. And that's the only part that he played. Possible. It's possible, you know. I don't know. I just thought I'd put that out there because, you know, I don't put Annie and Tommaso there the night it actually happened, you know. For all we know, if they were there, they could have been drivers. They could have helped carry Nancy out. They could have. They made sure whatever, you know, as far as when Nancy was removed from the home, they made sure that they weren't on camera. And for the most part, from what we see, they made sure that they didn't get the car. I mean, they made sure no one saw that car. They knew how important, whoever this is smart, and they've either been involved in crime before, or sometimes I feel like it could be somebody in the sheriff's department because it was done so well. And they know the things. It seems like this person that pulled this off knows exactly what authorities look for. Remember, they said the house was immaculate. The house was immaculate. Somebody gets taken out of a home, and according to the timeline, they had a whole lot of time to do it. I get it. But why would a house be immaculate after someone's removed out of a home? Nothing gets touched. Nothing at all. Nothing gets moved. They go in. They don't look for anything. They don't want anything, obviously, but Nancy. I think, you know, based on the information that we've learned in this whole entire case, that's the one thing that they wanted. It didn't seem like they wanted anything else. They left the phone, they left Nancy's medicine, they left everything there. I don't even know if the safe was touched, but from what we heard, Nancy has a safe. But it seemed like to me, the target was Nancy. It was definitely Nancy.
Getting ready in the morning, and I saw him out there. So I couldn't make out his face. He was in kind of street clothes, not shoes that you'd walk in, and he had a baseball hat really low, and he was kind of hunched over, and he was kind of looking around, and he just didn't fit.
That was on January 11th, the same day we later learned as this photo of what appears to be the same masked suspect on Nancy's front doorstep weeks before her kidnapping.
How do you see? My thing is, I couldn't even remember. If you asked me, hey, Juice, what were you doing on February 1st? I couldn't even tell you. And this was months after this. And it seemed like Aldine knew exactly what she was doing. Sometimes we do stuff, you know, on certain days that are so distinctive to us that we don't forget. But maybe Aldine wrote it down. Maybe she was able to look back on her camera to see exactly what day it was. Maybe after the abduction happened, she went through her camera and she was able to figure out what day that actually was that she saw this person. But I'm just wondering, like, how does she remember? I mean, that must be some really good memory if she's able to remember, yeah, you know, I saw this guy on January 11th. I'm just wondering where she's getting that from, or if she simply just remembers. Nothing against Aldine, but, you know, and I question whether or not the guy she saw wasn't just somebody walking through the neighborhood or actually the perp.
I told the FBI the day after they came here, and I discussed that with them. Yep.
What was it like when the FBI came?
You know, they were young and just listening and asking a couple of questions and wanted to know if our Ring camera worked, and it didn't at that time, unfortunately.
Remember, she said that the FBI was young that came to her door, so these were probably inexperienced FBI agents. And remember, she had a little miscommunication going on with the FBI agents because they weren't even sure who went there, you know. So for a minute, Aldine thought that she had fake FBI agents come to her and talk to her, but it turned out later that those were actually real FBI agents that she sat down and spoke to. And I think this must be her camera here.
Another twist in the investigation, with neighbors reporting that their cameras and their internet were not working the night Nancy disappeared.
We've all talked and compared notes, and I heard the gentleman across the street, their dog woke up in the night. He also told me that their internet went out.
Here's what they're now focused on. See that small black device that was in the man's pocket? They're wondering if this could be a signal jammer, which the suspect could have used to cause an internet blackout.
The same night that the FBI released the videos and photos, News Nation got word of an operation 60 miles south of Tucson in a town called Rio Rico. A subject taken into custody for questioning. And this is Josefina.
Yes.
This is her house,
Carlos.
And the subject is her son-in-law.
They went inside, they busted the doors from my house. They went inside and took my son to the living room and had him handcuffed and then got him outside.
This is who they're looking for. Do the eyes look like your son-in-law at all?
No, not at all.
For those who had hung on to every development in the case, this seemed like the moment they had been waiting for. But hours later, the person taken in for questioning was released with no explanation.
He's absolutely an innocent man. It's really clear to me that.
So this is where all the detaining started. This is the beginning of time right here. This is what the very first guy that was detained that we thought had something to do with the Nancy Guthrie case.
To do with it.
Carlos, right outside of Rio Rico.
I don't think they had any reason to think he was involved.
Any reason? Must have been his lawyer or
We're
something.
going to get to Brian Enton. He is live on the ground with breaking news. Brian.
We're in our car, and there is an active SWAT situation happening right now.
So here we go, the SWAT part of it, and this is like the second time they detained somebody. This is Luke with the Range Rover. Remember Luke with that Range Rover? And then I don't think we ever learned any of the other. I thought we saw a couple other guys that were detained that night, and I don't think we ever learned who those guys were. And the guy who sold him the Range Rover was supposedly not sold, but I guess, you know, the place that he got it from, I can't remember the name. Criminal Network had told me the name. Is it GM Motors or something like that? I can't remember the name. But I guess Zach wasn't the one who sold him the Range Rover. He got it from a place. I think maybe Zach owns the place. I'm not too sure much about Zach. I know Zach says he was out of the country at the time of the abduction. He never really proved it. But, you know, and some people still don't believe Zach, you know. But I don't think he was actually here. But who knows? I mean, Zach does have pretty eyebrows. I'm not gonna lie; those eyebrows are kind of pretty, like they're done all the time. And when you look at the perp's eyebrows are pretty. They look like they've been done to me. But you know, who knows? And I think that's why people are confused and they think that the perp is a girl. But I don't think so, guys. But when you do look at the eyebrows of the perp, it does look like they've been done. I mean, they're almost like too perfectly like there's like not. It doesn't seem like there's any here. It seems like they're cut off. Like if they really just like they got done. I mean, I don't know. But this is a man. I mean, the mask almost looks like it might be fake. But it's hard to. I can't call it. Oh, I'm sorry, not the mask. The mustache. Why did I say mask? The mustache. It looks like that. There's a possibility that mustache. It could be fake, but I think it's a real mustache. I can't call it. It's that little slit in the middle of it that makes me wonder. You know, whether or not that it's real or not. It's almost like right there is where it got messed up. Where you see that little line in between the mustache right there. Right where my arrow's at. It seems like that thing is fake. I don't know why, but I don't know. But a lot of times, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because a lot of times when I see someone who's a potential suspect, I look for that part in the lip because it's like he's got a cleft lip. So and I don't think we've yet to see anybody with a really cleft lip. And I'm wondering because I think Zach might actually have a similar lip. Let me look Zach up real quick because I don't know why in my head I'm visiting Zach with like a cleft lip. No, he doesn't. But he does got like an odd looking kind of lip though. I think he was the closest to the sketch that the lady drew. Remember the sketch that, you know, a lady came out and drew? Well, that sketch to me came closest to Zach because Zach kind of looks like more like on the Hispanic side. And I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't like the sketch that the lady drew because I don't think that he's Hispanic. The perp just looks like he's white to me. But it came closer to Zach than anybody. With the sketch that was drawn. I mean, even the goatee. I mean, look at the goatee. The nose is definitely not on point. And she said she gets them wrong. I think the lady mentioned that she only has gotten one or two wrong in all the time that she's been doing her work, though. That's what got me. I was like, wow. And I don't know, you know, who knows? I don't think it's Zach, but he definitely is the closest to me. You know, as far as certain things that have gone on, like this sketch. And then when you point out the eyebrows, let's look at the eyebrows and then look at the perp's eyebrows. They're very, very close. They almost curve at the same point. But it's questionable, guys. I don't know. But you could tell Zach, I think Zach gets his eyebrows done. I don't know. Maybe they don't look like they're all that done there. And the perps don't look like they just got done either. But then again, they do, looking at this angle. Yeah, the perp's eyebrows look like, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell because of the ski mask covering some of the actual eyebrows. So but Zach is the closest for sure to me with certain things. I don't know. What's his Richard Olette? He was fairly close to me too. And I thought Richard Olette was close because, you know, he's got a similar beard and then he's white. That was the one thing that got me, I think, because I truly think the perp is white. I don't think he's Hispanic, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Anyways, guys, I'm going to quit this video here because I wanted to share something with you guys here. Actually, I guess I'll play the rest of this SWAT part of it and then we'll move on here.
3 days later, another massive SWAT operation in the dark of night. News Nation saw the raid in a Tucson neighborhood unfold. 3 people detained.
The amount of resources here is massive.
But the next day, news from the sheriff's office once again stunned everyone. No charges, the people detained, free to go.
Do they have any connection to Nancy Guthrie?
They live in the same area. That's it.
And the search warrants, does that mean that you all believe the suspect could be close?
It's what happens in investigations, particularly bigger investigations, where they're so excited, and then it falls through. It's not the person. Nancy's not at that house. But that's part of the ebbs and flows of an investigation.
During this time, investigators continued going back to the house, putting up a tent, and bringing out new tools. And TMZ says they kept getting more ransom notes. This time, the person claimed they weren't involved in Nancy Guthrie's...
Remember the tent? They put up the white tent. We had no idea what they were doing. Initially, I thought that they went out and they put up the tent because they wanted to do something with them. Well, I think that was second time around. I thought that they were trying to do something with the mat. I thought that they were trying... Initially, I thought they were trying to get something done with the height. And trying to figure out the height of the actual suspect that was in front of Nancy's. Who knows what they were doing, though. I don't know what you guys figured out. I don't think any of us figured it out at all. And they could have been doing multiple things. But I think that's part of the reason why they ended up not taking the mat. I think, you know, because they did a lot of the on the... I think that there were certain things that they were able to do on the ground. But I have no idea. And not only that, the mat was already super contaminated because everyone had already stepped all on the, you know, the front porch, including, I think, Brian Ensign and another lady. So I don't know. But who knows what they were doing with the white tent? I mean, some of you guys know better than I do. But I never really figured it out.
Kidnapping, but that they know who was.
The person begins by saying, look to the FBI. I don't trust you, and you don't trust me. And then the last thing he says, and I'll actually read from the note, he says that the manhunt of the main individual that can give you all the answers, be prepared to go international. To me, that can only mean Mexico.
Yeah, and I thought. I mean, I still think sometimes Nancy could be in Mexico. I don't know about you guys, but I think that I don't feel like she's anywhere close. I keep saying this, and people are always like, you know, why aren't you searching, Juice? You should be out there searching. Go search. Why would I search if I don't feel like she's out here anywhere? I would search because you believe that she's out here somewhere, and I'm with, you know, anyone who feels like she's out there, and I'd be willing to help. But here in Tucson, I don't feel like Nancy's here. A lot of people think that she's somewhere 5 miles within the proximity of her homes. I've even heard like 11 miles out. Some people think lakes. And then some people also think, you know, she's in a fridge somewhere. And, you know, also people have said, you know, I think Juice, she's probably somewhere in her house. You know, I really don't think that they checked the septic tanks all of that well. I think they need to go check them again. Juice, I really don't think that they checked them at all. I can't say because I don't know where the septic tanks are. You know, we've talked about where the septic tanks are, but we really don't know. I know for sure that they checked tanks around the home. Don't know if they checked them thoroughly. And I think from what I saw in recent videos that they did check septic tanks around Annie and Tommaso's house, or tanks. I don't know if they were actually septic tanks. I'm not familiar with septic tanks. I don't know what they really look like, besides a round circle with the top on it. And I'm not too sure where they're located around Nancy's. It would be nice to wander around and try to figure out where they're at, and I'm pretty sure we would find out where they are quickly. But that would involve us going on the property, because from what I heard, they're on the property, so we can't check. Otherwise, we'd be trespassing, so can't do it. He's a big guy. He carried her. That's why there's no vehicle. Down the street, middle of the night, in a neighborhood with cameras? I don't know about that one. And, you know, he still had to put her in a car. He still got to put her in the car. Like one of the ladies said, they said that there's definitely going to be another crime scene somewhere else if they find Nancy's body, or even if they find the perp. But I say that too. I mean, there's definitely another crime scene somewhere for wherever she was taken next. It could be more than 2 crime scenes. Who knows? You know, this might not be the first rodeo for this guy. He might have other people. I got to check out a lady that 857 brought up. He said it's a very similar case to this one, and it could be related. You know, so for all we know, this guy is still out there taking people. But that's only going to put himself more at risk, you know, of getting caught. And, you know, I hope he's not doing that, but you never know. You just never know. It's a scary thought. It really is. Yeah, Carrie. It's a scary thought. Knowing that he might be out there somewhere. People are starting to feel uncomfortable just thinking about this case. My girlfriend said she was followed by a white truck earlier. Said she saw him. I had mentioned a white truck behind us. It looked similar to Mark the Shark's truck. And then, you know, she said, I don't know if this is, you know, her tripping or she's just overthinking, who knows, but she said she saw the truck, I think at a store, and then all the way on the other side of town. She said she saw the truck like 3-4 different times. Same exact car. Voices of the Missing said they were followed the other day. Or Voices for the Missing said they were followed the other day. So people are like, I feel like people are getting followed. You know, especially for the ones like us, Criminal Network, JLR, you know, Dad's Gone Live, Mark the Shark, Asia W, for all the folks that are supporting the case. Watch your back, you know. Be on your P's and Q's. Keep your head on a swivel, because, yeah, I don't know. I think people are really getting followed. I don't know. Sometimes I stay up late on purpose, just because as soon as I got these, you know, floodlights and then these security lights outside, as soon as I see one go off, I'm looking at the window right now. As soon as I see one go off, and I'll see it with, you know, I use my peripheral vision a lot. And if I see it go off, you'll probably see me get up and walk away and go outside and check. But that's how mind-blowing this case is. It's got you, especially living here. I mean, I live here. I have to live here. It's not a good feeling. You know, just seeing what's going on with the neighbors doing stuff. If it's the neighbors or, you know, whoever it is, you know, people maybe that don't live in the neighborhood are coming. Well, why would somebody do that doesn't live in the neighborhood? Throw stuff out there, I guess maybe to stir a pot. I don't know, make things more interesting. Just for laughs and giggles. I don't know. But, you know, it's getting weird. I mean, before that, there were some signs put up. I don't know if y'all remember the yellow signs with license plate number. I think it was license plate numbers. I think there was a phone number on it. Couple names. Just weird stuff. Weird stuff. We got streamers that don't even feel comfortable there anymore. You know, I think DGL said he wasn't comfortable from the get-go. You know, he said he wasn't comfortable from day one. you know, being at Nancy's house. Drivers getting out and they feel weird and they've never even been there before. We ran into a DoorDash guy the other day, and he was like, immediately he's like, look, man, I got the goosebumps. He's like, man, she's somewhere around here somewhere, man. It's crazy to hear people say that. You know, and that's one thing I believe in. I believe in like feelings, you know. And you know what they say a lot of times, when you don't go with your gut, you end up regretting it. So I try not to overlook certain things. But this has been a crazy case and a crazy first one for myself, that's for sure. I wanted to dive into this video real quick before I get off here, with a lady by the name of Juanita. Shouts Juanita. I mean, she definitely deserves more recognition for putting this together, and just more subscribers on YouTube. I mean, I don't think she streams a lot, but she put together the dispatch calls that night, some scanner traffic calls on February 1st. And like I said, they mentioned it on the interview room. So take a listen to this real quick.
So the first one I came across is Tucson Police Department and Fire for February 1st. I believe it's an estimated time of around 12:17, and I'm gonna let you hear that now.
Hey, can you check for any transports or hospitals, please?
So here in this one, I hear a law enforcement official asking if they can check priority transports or hospitals. So my guess here is that just the way that Savannah said in her interview with Hoda Copy, we checked all the hospitals, we called all the hospitals. I'm not sure if Savannah was told by her sister that.
Hold on, chat. I gotta stop the video real quick because somebody mentioned something in the chat here. Yeah, my girl brought to my attention here. Hold on, I gotta find this in the chat real quick. Something about Righteous Monkey. June, I think, was the one who said it. She said, hey, Juice, did you see the Righteous Monkey got video of the guy putting stones out? He drives a white truck. Wait, what? What white truck? Because there's a white truck that was following my girlfriend around today. So what, hold on. Where is this video at? I was watching Righteous Monkey earlier. Yeah, shouts Juanita, by the way. Yeah, we love Juanita. For sure. All the Juanitas. I gotta see this, man. You got me really wondering here. Let me look up Righteous Monkey real quick, guys. I didn't mean to stop the video, but that's really weird. And I'm hoping it's not the same truck. It's like the one that Mark the Sharks drives, but a little bit, it's more beat up and it appears to be a little bit older. I have this truck. It's a Ford Ranger. It's actually the only car I own that I don't drive anymore, because it's broken down right now. But I'll show you guys what the truck looks like. Mine is a 96. And I don't know. I can't say for sure he was following us, but I'll definitely be looking out for that truck tomorrow for sure. That is really weird. So I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is what this truck looks like. I found one on eBay here. It's going to be like this. This is going to be it right here. Mine is just like this one, a single cab, but it's a little bit older than this one. This is a 99, and that's around the year that truck that was following behind. Mine is a super cab, so it would definitely fit all those rocks and stones in the back for sure, easily, even with a short cab too, though. but I think we need to pull up this video with Righteous Monkey of somebody saying that he saw the truck. Did he record this at all, or was this yeah, because we need to report this person if he really caught this guy putting stones out. And if he's following me, that definitely can't be happening. That's for sure. Because I have a little man always in the back of a car, so that's just making me feel super unsafe. It's almost like sometimes, guys, sometimes doing this is questionable. Sometimes I'm like, man, could I be putting my kids at risk, you know? I hate to say that, but like, there's a lot of crazy people out there. People really do crazy stuff. And they really don't care. And somebody vulnerable would be an old lady and a child. That's just crazy. I mean, I hope not, I hope, what I'm doing, I know it's for good deed, but I hope that doesn't ever become the factor. It was AI, what he saw? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool, okay, all right, good then, good. We'll check the email out. Let's play this video.
You hear that now.
Hey, can you check for any transports or hospitals, please?
So here in this one, I hear a law enforcement official asking
I'll go back because I want to see if there's a timestamp on this.
Hey, can you check?
Yeah. So this is 12:17 p.m. February 1st. So we got to keep an eye on we got to keep an eye on the time. Because obviously we're familiar with the times, right? So the times, are going to line up with some of the stuff that is factual pertaining to the timeline. So 12:17 p.m. on February 1st. But this is actually, no, it's not, because this is after she's already been taken. This is pretty much the end of the day that she got taken. So this is going into the next. It's already the next day, but it's not going to really revolve much around the actual timeline. Because this is when they were looking for her. So we don't really have too much revolving around this based on the timeline, except for, the time that the family checks in on Nancy, which is weird because it says that the family checked in on Nancy at 11:56 a.m. And I believe, and I got to find another timeline here because this one isn't lining up like it's the same thing, but it's missing a couple pieces in this timeline. So let me play this through and I'll pull up another timeline here.
For any transports or hospitals, please.
So here in this one, I hear a law enforcement official asking if they can check priority transports or hospitals. So my guess
Ignore this timeline.
Is that just the way that Savannah said in her interview with Hoda Copy, we checked all the hospitals, we called all the hospitals. I'm not sure if Savannah was told by her sister she was told by her sister that they're the ones, A and T are the ones who call the hospitals. However, here you can hear the law enforcement officer or deputy asking the dispatcher, can you guys check for priority transports or hospitals? Again, this is only part of a conversation, so could it be related to something else? It's very likely. It's not 100% set in stone that this is regarding.
Oh, yes, it is, because there wasn't nothing else going around that time. You did very good, Juanita.
The Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Now, at around 12:23, all these times are also estimated. I was trying to get an exact time, but I couldn't. So, mysterious person seen in the area, I will hear
I'm trying to pull
dispatcher
up the
say
timeline.
timeout.
Hold on, guys. I'm trying to look at the emails as well.
And so you do kind of get an exact moment, but other times they don't. I'm not a dispatcher. If there's a dispatcher that wants to weigh in on that, my daughter dispatched for a while, and she still does, but now for an alarm company. She did it for a sheriff's office, and it was a very tough job. So you got to give them credit because they have to be, from my understanding, there's call takers, and then there's the ones who talk to PD and fire. I've done like 2 sit-ins with dispatchers, and that's a tough job. Okay, so at 12:23, I hear a law enforcement official talking about a 1060. So at 12:23, this is again an estimate of the exact time. I will let you guys hear exactly this next one.
I'll be 1060 the missing person as well also. I texted everyone that's working a OLN photo over.
So in this one, what we hear is it sounds like there's a photo getting sent around to investigators or...
So listen, this sounds like this is lining up just because the family, it says the family called 911 around 12:03 p.m. on February 1st. And then the Pima County Sheriff's about, several minutes later, at 12:15 p.m., Pima County Sheriff deputies arrived and launched an active search. So within pretty much 10 minutes, 12 minutes, they were already actively searching for Nancy. So, I mean, this seems like this lines up to me.
Or officials who are on scene already. It sounds like the officials saying, hey, I'm sending out a picture of her to kind of show you guys, hey, this is what she looks like, the missing person. And I looked up code 1060 in Arizona. If you hear that official, what he talks about, it means he's in the vicinity of the area. So it sounds to decode, I guess, what he's saying. He's saying, hey, I'm in the area for this missing person. There's a photo of her, a bolo getting sent around. So at around 12:30, again, rough estimates and a fraction of conversations. So this could be related to something else. I'm not saying it's 100% related to Nancy. And I will keep saying that throughout the remainder of this podcast because I don't know for sure. I'm just narrowing it down. So at around 12:30, the 12:30 mark, I will let you guys hear this next radio transmission.
After you've checked the property thoroughly, let me know if you want to get search and rescue involved.
So here it sounds like they are...
Why would there be search and rescue going on anywhere else if this didn't line up? The family calls the police about somebody missing at 12:03. That's when that 911 call states that this is when the 911 call was made. So I mean, 20-30 minutes, that's about right. I mean, who else would they be looking for around that time? Now there was a lady that went missing, but this wasn't this day. I don't think that lady went missing the same day as Nancy. So I mean, who else would they be talking about, in this neighborhood? Because this is specifically this neighborhood that these sheriff are working, or deputies.
Are still searching the property. This is, again, at 12:30. From what we understand, the call was made at 12 or 12:08, something like that, by family. So at around...
So you had that wrong. Remember, 12:03. 12:03 is what it's showing that the family calls 911.
12:30, they are on site and they're now searching the property. And now this official asks, do we want to get search and rescue involved? So it sounds like they're still looking around. They can't find her. Now we hear one of the officials, it's law enforcement. He's saying, you want to stick to the neighborhoods, northwest, southwest, and I'll stay on the east portion. And it sounds like he says Candle neighborhood or Campbell. I'm not exactly sure what area that is in Tucson. So,
guys,
again,
my email's not pulling up. I don't know why it's not working.
So they could
Give me
be
a sec.
talking about something else, but I don't know.
17. If you want to stick to the neighborhoods northwest E42, you can take the southwest, and I'll stay on the east portion on Campbell neighborhood.
Okay, so let's move on. I will let you guys hear this one. This is around the 12:47 mark.
Try not to disturb any of the items in the house.
Come
We're
on.
getting a hold of a scent tracking dog, so try to stay away from the blood outside and anything inside the house that could hold a scent. Copy.
A rough estimate.
So go back. We
It's at
gotta hear
12
that again.
Could hold
It says try not to disturb any of the items in the house. We're getting a hold of a scent tracking dog, so try to stay away from the blood outside and anything inside that could hold a scent. Specifically talking about Nancy's house. There's no other house of a person that went missing and there was blood on the porch. That would be crazy. There's no way that there's some other house besides Nancy's that night or that afternoon, excuse me. And this is crazy because now I'm wondering what time it was that Brian Entin discovered this blood. This is crazy. That you know what? When did Brian Entin discover that blood? Because this is February 1st. This is the first day. And this is just right after the police were called. And, you know, they were insisting on a search. And what day was it that Brian Entin got here? Did Brian Entin get here February 1st? I don't think Brian Entin was here February 1st. Chat, do you guys know what day was Brian Entin here? I'm super, now I'm a little disturbed. February 1st, right? Or 2nd, right? Yeah, he would have had to have got here February 2nd. Because a lot of the bigger media platforms weren't even out there, I think, until that second day. I don't think they were out there day one. I mean, they didn't know if it was an abduction yet or just simply somebody missing. So if this person is stating, let me hear this call again, because let me hear this again. That's even weird. If he knows that there was blood and they never, wow. You know what? Let me go back again.
We're getting a hold, try not to disturb
7
of the items in the house. We're getting a hold of a scent tracking dog, so try to stay away from the blood outside and anything inside the house that could hold a scent. Copy.
A rough.
Try to stay away from the blood outside. I really hope this isn't for Nancy Guthrie. Okay, that one might not be for Nancy. I'm hoping it's not. To me, exactly, Melanie. You're thinking what I'm thinking, Melanie Wilson. It sounds like to me, if this is Nancy Guthrie, then they would. It sounds like to me they already knew about the blood. I don't know, guys. That's weird. I'm not aware of there being blood on the inside, but I've overheard that there was blood on the inside of the house. I've also heard that it was the same blood, that exactly the same way we see the blood outside on the porch. Still don't know that. Kristen says it is for Nancy Guthrie. If that's the case, that's really, really fishy. If that is the case, that is really, really weird. Because they didn't, to our understanding, they didn't know when the blood, they didn't see the blood. It was discovered by Brian Entin. That's what everybody knows in this case, that Brian Entin and another reporter saw the blood out there. So they knew about the blood. They knew about the blood. So you guys think that they really knew about the blood, that it wasn't Brian Ensign that brought it to their attention? Oh, so they only seen it after the scene was released. Okay, all right. I'm just making sure, because I thought that Brian Ensign was the one who brought it to their attention, not just the community's attention, but I thought he was the one who, you know, brought it to their attention. Okay, all right. Why didn't they clean that up? That's crazy. All right.
Estimate, it's at 12:47 in the afternoon. And it sounds to me like they're still continuing the search, but now this official's saying, hey, try not to disturb anything on the property.
Hey, Alexi is now officially a member of the channel. Welcome to the family, Alexi. Thanks so much for becoming a member, by the way. Shouts to Alexi. Indeed.
Tracking dog. And we all know that the dog came because, remember, we saw Nancy's shirt out in front.
Yeah.
In Brian Ensign and Fox News digital video, that blue shirt. So this is what we're guessing is happening at this time. And this is the next one. This is, again, sometime around 12:47, maybe 12:50. I can't give an exact time.
Can you start checking any adjacent properties to see if anyone's got cameras that might be facing this way? Family here does not have access to the cameras on the property.
I thought
that was super weird to me.
This particular statement was very interesting because the law enforcement official says, can we start checking the adjacent properties? Family here does not have access to the cameras on the property. So I found this interesting because from what we understood is that they didn't have a subscription. So I don't know if family is there saying, well, we don't have access to the cameras, so we can't check the cameras. But then again, the cameras, weren't they broken by this point? According to like different sources, the backyard cameras, the front one was not there. So they're probably like, well, we also don't have, not only are the cameras not here, but we don't have access to them.
So I don't know about that one. You know, I think regardless if the cameras are broken or no longer there, someone still has access to the cameras. You know, there's still footage. That's the great part about technology today is, you know, remember back in the day, there used to be a box, you know, that holds all the memory and whatnot and cameras and whatnot. Well, now all of that memory is on your phone, paying for a subscription or not. And with Nancy, you know, I think that footage, if they were able to go back, and I'm sure they tried, it would have been, you know, on her phone. I think it reports that Nancy had 4 cameras, from what I saw. And I think when Monk pointed it out, that it turned out to be true, that the cameras that she had came with like a package deal. You know, you buy an S camera, you get 4 cameras with it. I think she had 2 on the casita, I'm assuming one in the front somewhere. I'm not too sure where that other one was at, but I think it was 2 on the casita, 1 in the back, and they said it was for like the wildlife or something like that. And as far as that 4th camera, I don't know where that one was at. And maybe that 4th camera would mean that it was the Ring camera. So I'm going to just say that. So the Ring camera, 2 on the casita, and then the 1 in the back for the wildlife. I think that was the 1 camera that was left behind, was that 1 in the back. But I'm not sure. They might have taken all of the cameras. I also think that was part of the reason why the bag was full at that point in time where we saw him on that Ring camera footage. I think that's what was in the bag, although I could be wrong. But it makes sense, you know, as to why the bag would be full to me. You know, what else would you bring? What else could you possibly bring? You know, people think that, you know, there were things in the bag to clean up the house. Possible, but I don't think you would need much to bring in a bag to clean up some place. I think all you would need is like the fluid and then, you know, something to wipe it with. I mean, and that wouldn't make a bag full. So that's out for me. I truly think it was the cameras that were in that backpack that night, but I could be wrong. But it's showing, when you look at to see what cameras that Nancy had, it's showing that there was the front door porch camera, the Google Nest doorbell camera, and then she had exterior views. So additional motion activated cameras monitoring the side yard, backyard, and the swimming pool. And I think those two monitoring the side yard and the backyard came from the casita. And then the one over the pool was that fourth one. So that's what I think, at least. And then it's showing that there was a roof and driveway, an exterior camera. It was placed above the property alongside one focused on the casita, garage, and the driveway. So maybe she had 4 additional cameras, 5 in total if you include the Ring camera. I'm saying 4 including the Ring camera because I don't know where the 4th one, might have been, but who knows?
Law enforcement official is saying that the family is sane. Allegedly. Because we don't know if this is even related to the Nancy Guthrie.
Hey, Made in the Dog, much love, by the way. Thanks so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it. She said, what bugs me is why Annie and Tommaso not act open the notification at 2 a.m. or when they woke up. I believe they had assessed. There's so many questionable things about Annie and Tommaso. I wish they would just speak. I really do. It's kind of too late now because they're so far thrown under the bus. It's kind of too late. But initially, it would have been great to hear from Tommaso. It really would have been.
Appearance.
Great
this
comment,
could be
by
a
the way.
completely different call altogether. What do you guys think?
Inner Strength says they didn't get the camera off the roof, FBI. It's so whoever took Nancy didn't know there were any up there. I think they did. All the cameras were gone. Initially, I heard that they were damaged. But then later on, I think we learned that they were taken. Strawberry says 4th camera was inside the garage, up above the door going onto the house, facing out over her vehicle. So that camera was missing and it was broken. So no indication that that camera was missing or broken. Interesting.
Okay, now this is the next one that I picked up on. Again, this is the time code of 12:47 to about 1:17. Not exactly sure what time this is. The exact time, I should say. I don't know that.
Kane inside, they were able to get into the phone. Also, Kane is here.
Here we can listen to the...
Man, some of these are played so quick. I'm trying to really catch some of these. Because she's kind of briefly showing them and then just taking them down. So this one's saying 12:45 p.m. All right, okay.
Is the exact time, I should say. I don't know that.
Kane inside, they were able to get into the phone. Also, Kane is here.
Here we
So
can...
they were able to get into the phone. So obviously they were really interested in getting into the phone because they know they were going to be able to access that footage through Nancy's phone. Now, going back real quick, I don't understand how no one had access to the cameras. That's really odd to me. Someone has access to those cameras, and whoever it was, even if it wasn't Annie, she knows who has access to the cameras. They shouldn't have just, I don't think it should have just been like, oh, well, no one has access to the cameras. I think they should have been talking about on that dispatch who they needed to reach out to get access to the cameras. That's really weird.
They were able to get into the phone. Also, Kane is here.
Here we can listen to the law enforcement officials saying they were able to get into the phone. Also, Kane is here. So what I'm guessing is that by this point, the family's gotten into Nancy's phone. Oh, and by the way, her cane is also here. So and this is all stuff we already know, right? They said that her cane and all her belongings, her basic essentials were all left behind. So we knew that. So here is the next sequence.
Negative Jane Doe's on all the local ERs and hospitals. 10-4, thank you.
So this means that by about 1:17...
God, why are they so fast? Slow down, Juanita.
So this means that by about 1:17
ERs and hospitals. Negative Jane Doe's on all the local ERs and hospitals. 10-4, thank you.
Wow.
So this means that
So
by
pretty much a whole hour since they were, pretty much on, on scene, from the time that they were on scene. So far, an hour, is what we learned so far watching Juanita put some of this together. They still really don't know whether or not it was somebody that wandered off or it's an abduction.
about 1:17 that dispatchers or whomever was tasked with the job of searching the hospitals, they said, hey, we already looked. Okay, wait. The dispatcher says, hey, negative on all the Jane Does on the hospital. So by this point, what I'm guessing is that a dispatcher or somebody there was tasked with calling all the hospitals and ERs or whatever. And
Starless Mystery, I didn't mean to not read your comment there. She says, I have something to say. That guy that came up there did not know that the camera was there, or he didn't expect it to be working. Please read my next post. Yeah, it looks like it to me. I mean, when we watch the video of the perp walking up to the Ring camera, it seems like he's not even too sure, where to look. And that makes me question whether or not that the person that we seen on January 11th is the same person. People have pointed out, the belly. I don't know why I'm looking at dogs. People have pointed out the belly. Somebody said that the person is different. Like, some people don't think that that's the same person. But who knows? Who knows, guys? It's just so hard to tell. But I mean, if somebody cased the home and that's the same person, it's almost telling that it's not, because, if you cased the home prior to, prior to him seeing him on the Ring camera, him casing the home, I think he should have been very much aware of the Ring camera. He's right in front of the door. So, I don't know. I mean, it makes me even question if that was actually January 11th as well. I mean, it's just a still shot. It's not actual a live video footage of the perp. It's like the Ring camera took a picture on January 11th and somehow they were able to dig up the date. And, why wouldn't they be able to dig up the date? I mean, if they were able to dig into finding the video, they obviously had to squirm through dates to get to the actual video. So I'm not putting it past it that it's January 11th, but it's just weird to me that a person can visit a home, stand right in front of the door, casing the home, and maybe he wasn't casing the place on January 11th. Maybe he was, he was going to hit the house that night, and he saw something, and something just, threw him off and made him not case the home that night, which was weird. And the weird part about it is, and I think we've all said this a lot, is he made sure it was on the weekend. And I don't know if January 11th was a full moon. Not that mattered, Maybe it did, because the full moon it seems to be something brought up a lot the night of the actual abduction. But it seems like this person definitely, there's a possibility that this person even had a job. But January 11th was a Sunday. So that was on the weekend. And then February 1st was also a Sunday. So, I mean, I take it this person worked. I don't know. Sky, great to see you, by the way. I think that comment is stuck on the screen. I don't know what happened to the comments there. Moving around, they're not moving anymore. Let me refresh that. Hey, welcome to the family made in the dark. I know you've been trying to get the mod. I'll explain some of the rules. I'll email you. I don't really have a bunch of rules. We just got to be easy on everybody. Give them chances. Don't be too strict. Don't be too hard on the folks. I like everybody to have a freedom of speech. So even if they're coming in being rude, don't time them out right away. Just give them some time. Give them some time. Be real nice, all right? Be nice. I've been hearing the next full moon is in a couple days. A couple days. I wanted to just look just real quick, guys. For January 11th, whether or not it was a full moon that night. No, and it's not typically a date for a full moon, so kind of a dumb question. Yeah. Interesting. So I guess that I would take it that didn't matter, but who knows? Who knows? He could have been really casing the place. I think that he was going to hit the place on January 11th, and something went wrong, and they decided to just come back a different night. I do believe that it's more than one person, though. I was holding on a long time to the fact that this could be one guy. I still question it. I still do. But when Adrian pointed out that extra foot that we see in the video, and I don't know now. You know, I feel like now that there's definitely more than one person.
They didn't find her, right? There's no Jane Doe at any of these hospitals. So it sounds to me like, just going back really quick, it sounds to me like at 12:17, estimated time of 12:17.
LR, I got your email, by the way. I'll reply in just a second.
Can we check priority transports
I'll reply on stream.
or hospitals? Then by about 1:17, an hour later, they come back and say, nope, there's no Jane Does at any of these hospitals. And just again, I want to keep saying this. This might not even be related to Nancy Guthrie. However,
yes, it is.
There's a good chance. I don't even want to say that because I don't know. It's just what I narrowed it down to. So if this part about the calling all the hospitals is correct, or what I feel are the two conversations from dispatchers to PD, it took about an hour, it sounds like, to call all the hospitals. Depending on who was tasked with that job, if it was just like another dispatcher, they're probably obviously having to do calls in between, or I don't know how that works. I don't work for the department, so I'm not sure if it was like maybe an intern or somebody, hey, can you guys can you do me a favor, go call these hospitals and look and see if there's a woman by this name or description there. But either way, it was an hour later when they came back with that, nope, she's not in any of these hospitals or ERs. And I wrote down here, this doesn't match Annie's story about calling all the hospitals unless she pretended that they are the ones who called and it was really dispatch who called for them. Because I'm also guessing that by this point, Savannah still had not been called yet. So mind you, all this is happening, and yet Savannah...
Good comment 101, just uses our biggest problem. Our stuck comments, then we're really blessed. Yeah, very funny. Yeah, I think we need some of those comments to stay stuck sometimes because I do miss them, and I apologize for missing some of the comments. It's tough sometimes. Starless Mystery says once he sees the camera, he never takes his eye off it until he turns around to get the plants. Yeah, I mean, I think Monk pointed it out in that inverted video, and I think that brought a lot of attention to us seeing exactly what he's looking at on the first initial approach to that door. And it almost looks like he's going to knock. It still looks like there's a good chance that he might just knock on that door. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but it did look like he was going to knock on that door for a second. Crazy. Overthinker says they should have contacted Apple. Maybe her watch recorded sounds. They say it's always listening to you. I agree, though. The Apple Watch is amazing. I wanted to look up something just real quick, and I can't remember exactly what it was that I wanted to look up. Oh, okay. I wanted to look up this here. How long can you go back on a subscription without paying for it? Cowgirl, thanks for the jewel, by the way. But just real quick, just for my own peace of mind and those that might be curious. How long can you go back on a subscription? Well, no, without paying for a subscription. I'm sorry. How long can you go back without paying for a subscription with Nest? Linda, I appreciate the jewel, by the way. Much love, Linda. Shouts to those of you guys with the jewels tonight. And also, LR had sent me an email just a second ago, and a lot of people keep bringing this up. So I'll play the video through because this is not clear at all. And this is not going to help you guys see what this person is talking about. I think he thinks he sees a person. I'm not too sure, she. But we went over this. That's the sign in the background. I also showed it out on the ground at Nancy's. And that is not car lights. I did look up the moon fact of it, though, because I was questioning why there would be any light reflecting off of the sign. And two things. With the Ring camera, the night vision lights things that reflect up in the background. So that could be one reason why it's reflecting to reflect off signs. So it was a bright night and an irregular night for a full moon. You know, it wasn't just your basic full moon. It was one of those full moons that you can't miss. Like, it was really lighting the outside up. You know, so because of the moon being so bright that very night, it wasn't as dark as it is on a every night base. Lisa, thanks so much for the jewel, by the way. Much love for the silver star. Much love. But how long can you go back on a Nest Ring camera without paying for the subscription? I've been curious, and I don't know why I haven't asked Google this question, and not that Google might be right, because sometimes it simply gives you what you're looking for, and it doesn't turn out it's a fact sometimes. So it says you can usually go 30 days without paying for your account is suspended. That's not what we want to know. We don't want to know that. I want to know how long you can go back on the camera. Okay. So it says brands offer, and it just says brands. It's not specifically stating Nest. Well, it is saying Nest, actually. It says the brands offer a brief window, like 3 hours for a Google Nest. So within the time that they arrived, unfortunately, it sounds like it wouldn't be long enough for them to go back, because they arrived. We all know that they arrived around noon. So 3 hours from noon wouldn't have been even close to the time that Nancy was abducted. So that explains things even more for me. And I mean, obviously, they weren't able to pull up any footage because it would have been 9 in the morning. Nope. Unfortunately, that sucks. Well, and I don't know, for those of you guys that own the Nest Ring camera, maybe you guys know a little bit more than I do, because I've never owned a Ring camera. I'm looking forward to it very soon, because we're gonna move pretty soon, and we're definitely gonna need it. So that's something that I'll know pretty soon. But it sounds logical. That's about the time frame on most cameras in general, that you can go back without paying for the subscription. So it's possible. It's possible. I'm going to pull up this, if it'll let me. So I brightened this video up. I'm going to pull this up real quick. I hope this is good for you. And LR, I don't even know if LR is still here, because LR had emailed me a little bit ago. Let me see if I can make this bigger. See if I can put this in full. I want to make this screen a lot bigger for you guys. I got this in Adobe Pro. Let's see here. Hold on, guys. No, not what I'm looking for. Okay, I think this is good right here. Yeah. Oh, that's almost perfect. Maybe not. No, because it's not playing. So never mind. I can't do that for you guys. All right. So I'll just zoom in on this. I got to make a quick edit here, though. So the screen might be black. Sorry, guys. I should have had this ready. But I want you guys to be able to see what I'm seeing here. And we went over this several times. But it's always good to go back and relook at things, because sometimes we miss things. So it's always good to go back. We the juice for the juice. Says I got second jib on modding, if Juice ever decides to bring on more than one, I'd be honored and won't be quick to block. Hey, much love, We the Juice. I won't be modding very many people, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe one, maybe two more people, but I just want to see how it's gonna go with the mods. I'm not a big believer when it comes to mods, but we're gonna try it. We'll try it and we'll see how it goes. Slap, big welcome, Slap. He says no sleep is K. No sleep, no work. Online 24 hours. That's how we do it, baby. That's how we do it. Hit that like button. My girl says much love. Shouts to my girl. My Uber driver, guys. Anyways. She's laughing right now. D. Smith says, I sent an email with a photo of the 5 camera marks. Ooh, I like that. Thank you. So somebody sent me this picture, and I just want to go over this real quick because I think this is going to be easy. And I hope this person's here. If they're not, hopefully they'll come back and see it later because this was for you. So there's a picture, and somebody thinks in the picture that the sign is a light. Let me read the email to you guys. Because I think they're talking about not just the sign, but I think they're talking about they see a person back there. I don't see any people. People brought this up to my attention so many times about seeing a person, and it's going to be much clearer than this right now in just a second. But oh, Brandy sent me a song dedicated for Nancy. I don't know if we could play it because I don't want to get copyright. D. Smith, I see you sent me an attachment, but it's, oh, okay. Oh, this is good. This is really good. That looks right to me. Oh, wait a minute though. That doesn't look like it might be right. These look like the new cameras. So D. Smith sent me a photo, guys. I'll show you guys a photo here of the cameras at Nancy's. I think these are the new cameras where they'd be set up, though. I don't think this is going to be the ones that were there prior, because these are exactly where the new ones are at. I think number 3, if you guys can see number 3, let me make it smaller here. Hold on, we got to use a different, hold on guys, let me fix this real quick. I'm using 2 different display screens, which I love to do. So I don't know if you guys can see the numbers, but I'll zoom in here. Adrian says juice. Mr. Juice, give your girl the biggest hug and love from me in Scotland. She is so supportive and we appreciate her. Yeah, she's the one who told me about this. She's actually really been really mean to me today, guys, so I don't know if she really deserves a hug right now. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. She slapped me on the way home. Dang near threw me out the car. Yeah, I know. You guys can't believe. I can't believe it either. I know. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that I've been physically harmed today. I'm joking. But anyway, this is the picture here. Let me show you guys this real quick here. Somebody sent me this. I don't know if this is not prior. I don't know if this person that sent me this is thinking this is prior. And I gotta get back to this video, but I think this is the new camera setup. So if you can find the old one, send me the old one. But this looks like the old setup here. And I'll put my, let me get the arrow out real quick. Just real quick. So this is number 1. It's very hard to see, I know, guys. But this is number 1. There's the ring camera down there. That would make 2. This one here. And then we got the 2 on the casita. And then the other one on the casita for like the view of the entire backyard here, I guess, I'm assuming. But pointing out the cameras, I thought that there would have been 1 here, 1 there, 2 on the casita. Because remember, we saw the FBI standing over the top facing where we sit at. Literally standing over this very part of the casita. You know, and looking toward the street. So I think that's one of the cameras that were there that was taken. And then back here, I think this one was also the one taken. You can see the back wall. You see the back wall back there? So in that back wall, I always say this, it'd be very easy for you to climb on that back wall and then just climb up on the casita. So that, to me, is how he dismounted those ones in the back on the casita. Now, there was another camera right over here in this area somewhere, right all around in here somewhere. I don't know exactly specifically where that camera was at, but right back here in this area that other camera was at. I think that one was the one that was left that they didn't get to. They weren't able to get to. That would have been the hardest to get to. I don't know if Nancy had any cameras in the very front. Maybe Strawberry knows better than I do. But I don't recall her having any cameras in the front. I just think that she had the 3 in the back, 4 including the ring camera up here. But I could be wrong. I'm not too sure. But I just thought I would point that out since they sent me the photo. But I think these are the recent cameras that were put up. I don't think that's before. That's what they said to do. Do it. They said to do it. So you got to do it.
Don't turn on the camera.
Yeah.
I
They don't care about that. Oh my God, really? She doesn't want to give me a hug. I'm sorry, guys. See? This is why you don't ask for hugs, guys. Wait, what do you mean? That wasn't a hug. Oh. Thank you, babe. Thank you, I needed that. Good night, love you. Love you. Anyways, I'm gonna show you guys this part of the ring camera footage real quick, because somebody wanted me to look at that. I meant to meet the email. Let me see if I can pull that up. They sent me this.
We already did.
Hold on, because I'm trying not to pull up the wrong thing here. I'm trying to find the email. Because I already had it pulled up, but I don't see it. I guess we don't need to read it, I guess. But I think they were talking about a guy in the back. Video of the guy placing the rocks on the easement is fake. Somebody brought that up earlier. Yeah, I think so. From what we're hearing. So there's no sense in going and playing it. I don't know why my email is being really slow, guys. I don't know why it's acting up. I wanted to read the email because I didn't want to get it wrong based on what this person was looking for. Because I glanced at it, I didn't get a chance to... That's a good Somebody brought to my attention, if you get Blink cameras, you can get an SD. Yeah, and I wish Nest cameras had that. I don't think the Nest camera has an SD. That would defeat the purpose of even having to pay for the subscription. Man. Good thought. Good thought. Or good idea. All right, so LR had reached out and said, see the circle in the grass. There, do you think there's a man in the grass? So I guess they were asking me if I see a man in the grass, but this is pitch black, guys. You can't see anything. He says, I'll agree to disagree with on the other, but I think is a guy at least looking like he's crawling in the ground with, looks like dark hair to me, but about at his arm level or hand level of the mask to the edge before the first picture of Porch Guy from Laura Roberts. South Laura. But yeah, Laura, I don't see anything, and that's why I wanted to pull up this video so you could see. And this isn't a very good look right here. Let's see if I can get a better. I believe I fixed this. I thought I did. I guess I didn't. Apparently not. Oh, there it is. Ooh, much better. Yes. Okay, here we go. Better, way better. This is one of the reasons why I think they have a car, and they just haven't told us. So this video is much clearer. That's why I wanted to play this video for you. And let me get the arrow. The arrow is not in the right place. It's real quick. I'm not going to take too much time with this video here. If I can even find my arrow. I mean, I got it up here, but I need to be able to click on it. That's not the arrow I'm looking for. Okay, I'll just click on the arrow. Anyways, it's just much harder when you click on the arrow because I have so many things on here. So back there is a sign. So I'm assuming because she circled this area where the arrow is at. Or he, I don't know if that's, I think it was she, it was Laura. I don't think there's a person back there. I don't see anything. I don't see anybody. I don't see any changes of shadows. I don't see much. And whatever that does appear to be changing shadow wise, or, you know, whatever you see that's dark in the back, that's black, that's, you know, pixelation. You know, I think that's what, you know, makes people question if there's somebody moving, or it confuses them. But, you know, there's a lot of, you know, pixelation going on, which makes it a little bit more difficult to make out what you see in the back. But it's much more better to see it in real time. Let me see if this other part is a little bit better, because I think it's the approach too. And I messed with the lighting, so just ignore the lighting on some of this. No, I think this is the strub part of it, so we'll just play the actual part he's approaching. And this is straight from the FBI website, by the way. It's not an AI or anything like that. But I'm just going to kind of go back and forth here, because you see how the shadow pops up next to the arrow. You see that that's all pixelated. Going forward, make sure my screen's on the right thing. Yeah, we're good. So going forward, I don't see anything. I don't know if you guys see anything in the back, but I don't see anything at all. I don't see any movement. I don't see anybody that looks like they're moving around anywhere. So I thought I would just share that with the person that asked about this, that wanted me to check this out. And even looking at the bottom, I'll zoom in a little bit more because there's something that appears that like pops up in the back. So we'll zoom in a little bit. Sorry, it's gonna be a little funky here because you get to see all the editing going on. I usually don't let you see this part, but I'm gonna move it right to the arrow where it kind of pops up here. So you see that? How that gray kind of comes up there? I see nothing either. I just see pixelation. But right at the tip of my arrow, this is the type of stuff that confuses me. But even in the back, there's like stuff that just pops up. It just comes up. So like all in here, in this area right here, it's just like stuff just pops up. It like all goes away at some point in time. See how where the arrow's at, everything's just black. And I think at some point in time, if somebody was walking by or, you know, you see a person, you would see that. You would see some type of movement. What I would argue, though, is there is a car. For sure. To me, that's for sure a car. And some people can't see it. I think I'm going to do a video on this because people really aren't seeing the car, and I think that there's really a car in the back. And this is why I question this too a lot, because I think that if somebody did pull a car up there, they were able to see that footage, a live footage of Nancy's Ring camera. And, you know, people are still good at hacking. There are still hackers out there, you know, that can hack people's systems to look through. This is why some people that have cameras inside of their homes, or they have cameras on their video games, they cover their cameras. We've seen it happen before. People hack cameras and chime in on people in their homes. Weird people. To me, I see a car. Right on my arrow. And I go back and forth because you can see it seeing it in real time gives you a little bit better line of sight on what I'm actually looking at. But I'll never give up on this until they prove me wrong, and I'll never give up on it until I can find a way to somehow enhance this even more. That's not just nothing there. That's the end of the driveway. So, you know, I don't know what anybody would make of this, but I think that's one thing. One of the reasons why Aaron called the interview room, and I don't think he pointed out this, but I think he just called to ask questions. Like, we bring stuff up like this, but why aren't any of these guys covering this? Why aren't they talking about any of this? But that is a car. There's no doubt in my mind that's a car. Someone did say they reported it to the FBI, and they said that they're aware of it, you know, and I don't know if they said much else. You know, I don't know if they're really looking into it. But they did say that they were looking into it. I don't know if they're still looking into it, though. And maybe they determined that it wasn't. It just looks like a car. But that's a car. There's no doubt in my mind. That's exactly how Nancy's driveway goes. From the bar right here, right at where the bottom of the bar meets, is the stairs. This is the driveway. You can see the rocks. Look at my arrow here. Right here in this area, and I wish you guys could see it as clear as I do. And maybe I'll screenshot this and I'll post this on X. Because maybe I'll be able to show a clear view. You know what? We will do that, because this is a really, you know, I think people are really overlooking this. trying to zoom out a little bit because it's a little bit too zoomed in for some of you guys and myself. But I just want to point out the rocks, and then I'm just gonna get out of here on this video here. Trying to move the arrow here. Hold on. We're almost there. So you see the rocks on the outside? The rocks guide you out of the driveway. They show you where the driveway goes. And this is the rail to the stairs. Right at the tip of the arrow is the rail. And in between this rail and those rocks is the driveway. Right in between here. And then it goes out. And then it rounds about here. Exactly right here is where it rounds about. And then off to the street right here. Now on this side, let me see if I can move this because the perp's in the way. On this side, you see the rocks on this side? So right on this side is the rocks. Rocks, rocks. So these are rocks. And it kind of guides you out the driveway so you know where everything is at going forward. Now I wish I could turn my arrow as I go around this little roundabout here, so you guys are staying with me here, but I'm pretty sure you get the drift here. So here, and then let me put one more arrow here because I haven't done this yet. But let me just throw the other arrow in there, just because it just makes more sense. So here, right in here, separates the driveway. Separates the rocks in between the driveway. Easy for me because I've been there millions of times now. So this is going out to the road, and I'm gonna add one more arrow because there's absolutely nothing in between these arrows going out. So at the arrow here on the top, the bigger arrow is pointing at the car that I see. There's nothing else there. There's no trees. There's no anything. So why would there appear to be some type of object there that could be nothing else but a car? In between those arrows is literally, fitting perfectly. Almost as if there's no space in between those arrows. And even going forward, just so you can see it a little bit more clearly in real time, and I'll let it play. It's a car. There's nothing else in between. Yeah, and you notice anything on the outside that you see in the back, from what point here? Let me see. Even from the tree, all the trees, for the most part, the trees that you can see that are in the, really far back, you can even see what's behind it. But you can see the trees. So if that was a tree, you would be able to see it. Why would there just be suddenly just this random different tree? All of the trees surrounding the driveway are the same. And then, you got the other ones that are surrounding the home, which is, what are those, saguaro cactus or something like that? I don't know what you call those things. But anyways, I just thought that I'd bring that up because people still don't see the car. But maybe I'll try to post a picture of it. I think that might be a good idea to just point it out. But to me, that's clear as day. I don't know why they're not talking about it. I don't know how we don't have a particular car that we're looking for. It's far from a Kia Soul. Remember that time that we were looking for the Kia Soul at a period of time where they thought that could be a possible car or getaway car. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But to me, I won't let that one go until somebody can prove me wrong that that's not a car. And yeah, like user says, at one point the porch guy, he looks at the car. It looks like he's looking at the car. I don't know if he's looking at the car, but it's almost like he does. It seems like the possibility that he could be looking at somebody in that car or quickly telling them something. Who knows? Tasha, big welcomes, by the way. Good to see you in the chat there. I don't know if I got to say hello to you tonight. I think I saw you earlier. I'm not too sure. Up to Chelsea, big welcome. She says, I sent tip to FBI the minute I saw it ages ago. Heard nada back. They ain't interested. Isn't that crazy? And the car is one of the biggest things in this case. I mean, that could crack the case by far. Happy birthday, Shannon, if it's your birthday. I didn't know it was Shannon's birthday. Wow. For sure. My girlfriend said she's our day one member. Yeah, she's the first member I've ever had on the channel. Shouts to Shannon. Much love. I appreciate you. Appreciate the time. You're spending time with me on your birthday, man. That means a lot. That's crazy. Hope you have a good birthday, Shannon. Much love. I agree 100%, Made in the Dark. She says, this case is the strangest I've come across. Yeah, by far. Never seen anything like this. Yeah, Inspire says that vehicle is clear as day. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Oh, I didn't catch that. Tim Davis says your left arrow is on the person and his backpack. Like the person that you think you see, or the person that is that we're looking at, that's grabbing the strub and all that, the actual perp. It could have been at points in time. Because I was playing the video through, but I was pointing out the driveway, not the perp itself. Good morning, by the way, Vanessa, by the way. D123 says, would you guys live in that neighborhood? I don't know now. I don't know if I like the lights, the fact that there's no lights. Make sure y'all say happy birthday to Shannon in the chat. I'm probably the last one to say it because I'm late. Good morning, Cheryl, by the way. Cheryl thinks it's a Charger. I thought that was a Charger initially, but now, I don't know. Can't call it. People are saying it's a person standing in front of the car. I've been hearing that a lot. I don't think so. I don't see anybody. I see nothing. Wow, I can't believe people really think they see a person. Dang, I think I do see what people think that. I can see why people think that's a person, but I think it's the car. Here, I'll put my arrow on it real quick, and then we'll call it a night here, but I'll put my arrow on where you guys think the person is. Right here. Like right... I think you guys think right there is where people are saying they see a person. Tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe that's where you guys think. For some of you guys, at least, not everyone, but I think that's where, in that area somewhere, I think, is where people think that there's a person. Let me know if I'm wrong, chat. I think the chat is stuck again. Did you someone a YouTuber video, a white soul asking if it was their pickup jib radio? I don't know if I understood that question. I truly believe, Creation says, I truly believe they keep stating everything is for Apple Watch, but in all actuality, it's her pacemaker, as I wear a device similar, and I'm able to switch from it from Bluetooth to Wi-Fi. So Inspired says, and then right to left. Yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter, Mister. You're right. We can't see the person. I don't see it at all. But I was trying to figure out the general area people keep talking about. I definitely see two headlights, though, guys. I see two headlights, and then right here, I think it's an emblem. And I think it has fog lights for whatever it is. If that is a Charger, then there's no doubt in my mind that that's a Luke, though. If that's a Charger, I'm calling it right now, it's a Luke. If it's a Charger, though. I don't know if it's a Charger. I can't tell. I can't call it. It's not like we're gonna get a plate number. We would if we could figure out what type of car that is. I mean, that would change things. I mean, that would change things a lot. Because then they would know what car to look for, and it would escalate from there. They would definitely it would make changes for sure. And I think that's why it's important that car was not on camera, and maybe we're just seeing stuff. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. I don't know. Anyways, guys, Multi-Chick says, the juice isn't the weird slouch. Isn't it weird? Slouch way the person approaches weird to you, like lurch with head down and shoulders hunched over. It's weird, but it's not, because I think that this person is good. I think that's why I said it's a possibility this person could be even involved in law enforcement, because he just knew everything to do to try to confuse authorities. Because if I'm casing this thing and I'm thinking everything through that people, especially the things that law enforcement looks for, that's one of the things I would have made sure I did, was try to make it difficult for them to get my height. And Brew Crew brought a lot of interesting things up based on what we have now. Just like with technology, how they figure out a person, because in the time that we're in now, you're not, you disguising yourself isn't enough anymore. It's not as easy as it was back in the day, to put on a mask, go in and rob a bank and get away with it. Now it's so much more different. It's difficult because we got technology, and it's just easier for them to put stuff together now. Not easier, but they got more stuff that they can use, to figure out your characteristics, based on just even how you walk. They could probably figure out who a person is. I mean, this person knew for sure, no doubt in my mind, that they, what they look for. I mean, there's just certain things that, to me, give it away. Especially that initial approach when he walks up. And I don't think I have that part. But you could clearly see he's hunched over intentionally. Thanks for the jewels, Lisa. I appreciate that. But anyways, guys, I think that is going to be it for me. I got to work at 8 in the morning. Got this arrow pulled up here, though. I cannot find it. Trying to make sure this arrow's not in there. But on the initial approach, you can see right there, guys, he's hunched over, and I think it's on purpose. It's on purpose. There's no doubt in my mind that's on purpose. This guy thought he was slick. Well, he was, because it's been 116 days now, and he got away with it, sadly but surely. So I think somebody's trying to tell me what that person said or was trying to say, and I still don't really get it. So he says, Tape Soul lived, asked him if he was there to pick up job radio. So confused. What am I missing, Chad? I don't understand the question. Thanks for subscribing, Rachel Filmer, by the way. I appreciate the sub. Much love, Rachel. Yeah, it does, Kimberly. It hurts to see the way law enforcement has dealt with this. But I think they're quiet for a reason. It just seems like that now. They definitely have us right where they want us, just going in circles trying to figure this out. But I think as a community, we've put a lot together for sure. Hey, Christine, big welcomes, by the way. I didn't understand the question. Maybe shoot me an email because I didn't really get it. Vanessa says, have they even stated what shoe size the perp is? Because as he stepped onto the tiles, you can work out the shoe size from the measurements of those tiles. Yeah, I agree. And that makes me go back to what I was talking about earlier with the white tent outside. There was that white tent, and who knows what they were doing with the white tent. That could have been one of the things that they were doing. Trying to figure out the shoe size, trying to figure out the height of the suspect. I mean, from what I've seen, based on doing research online, they're still sticking with the 5'9" to 5'10". Some people think this guy may be 6 feet. I wonder what evidence led PC to loop. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? And I think Juanita, the lady we were just watching, brought that up. For the most part, I think I think it wasn't that video. It was the one I watched with Brian Intent. And I think they were saying that they weren't able to figure out what led up to him. So as far as we're concerned, nothing. They just picked this guy up out of somewhere that, maybe that they did research on, that they had suspicions on. I think it had something to do with the phones that were pinged, as far as the cell phone towers, is what led them to Carlos, right outside of Rio Rico. But we don't know, guys. We really don't know much. They haven't gave us much. I think Nanos was, the one who talked the most, that, shared more information with us than anybody. And it's kind of crazy because he got mad at one of the assessors for giving, information to the FBI. But you can't shut up yourself and stop talking. So, but it seems like the people around him probably knew more of what they were doing than Nanos. Some people don't even think Nancy made it home. Yeah, Slap, that's just crazy, man. I think she did. Some people don't, so I don't know. Why all the Middle Eastern names on the list they took to gun stores? Not too sure what they meant there in that comment there. Tim Davis says they shared the shoe size and the height. Maybe so. That's a good morning, by the way. Guys, I'm going to call it a night here, though. I got to get off here because I work in probably 4 hours. So I'll probably get 4 hours of sleep. That's normally how I do. So it's all good. I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. I did want to open up the phone lines, but we'll look forward to that on the next late night show we do here. Much love, guys. I appreciate all the love and support here. Thank you guys for spending time with me here tonight. I want to say I want to say happy birthday to Shannon one more time here. Much love. Shouts to Shannon here coming out. I really appreciate that. Spending time with all of us on her birthday. Happy birthday, Shannon. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Much love, guys. I'll probably see you guys all at Nancy's tomorrow. If I don't see you guys at Nancy's tomorrow, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Hooch. Thanks so much for the jewels. Thank you guys all for the love and support. The jewels, the super chats, the gifted memberships. Much love. Big salutes, guys. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Have a great rest of your morning or night. I know some of you guys are in other countries, so much love, though, guys. I'll see y'all next